Yo, what up? Welcome to Matt Live. My dog DJ Hazmat is still learning how to use a computer, so I'm sure he'll be back with us in just a few minutes. But the Browns just lost to the New York Jets, and we're going to get all the way into that. But of course, we are sponsored by Jack Daniels, and Jack Daniels has always made whiskey. And if they have it their way, they always will. But there's one thing Jack can't make more of: moments. Those are on us to create. So let's make sure we're making the most of every moment we have. Make it count. Jack Daniels, please drink responsibly. Tennessee whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee.
Go ahead, finish it off.
Jack Daniels and old number 7 are registered.
Now, a word from our sponsor.
I've always wanted to do that.
I've always wanted to do that.
We'll have one of everything. I always wanted to do this.
I always wanted to do that!
Next round on me.
Yo, what's going on? Welcome to Matt Live post-game show. Ugly game for the Cleveland Browns, but all is not lost in terms of the playoff picture. I hope those people are booing the refs because I got a bone to pick with that last play. We're going to get all into the way the Jets game ended. We also are going to get to all of our features, game ball, report card, and on to next week. But what's your initial reaction to everything that we just watched?
I'm just completely disappointed in the Browns, just overall I mean, it's unfortunate that we had the COVID incident taking out all of our starting wide receivers, but you still got to find a way to show up. I mean, and play, especially in that first half. You can't allow the Jets to get up on you like that. Just total disappointment, and Indianapolis lost, and they would have put us in the playoffs to win this game today. We would have guaranteed our spot in the playoffs today. We're not out of the race, but I'm just disappointed. Totally disappointed.
Same. Disappointed. The first half was definitely lackluster from the Browns' performance perspective. I'm not sure why it took us so long to get Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt so involved when you don't have anybody really that you can rely on to throw the ball to. Keep those comments rolling. I saw PJ. I know you're mad at the last play. I'm mad at it too. I got a bone to pick with the ref on that last play. And I just said, listen, if the ball doesn't hit the ground, it's not a fumble. So Kareem Hunt caught the ball before it hit the ground. Right. Whatever you want to say, whether or not you can't advance the ball on a fumble, that's not technically a fumble. You can call it a lateral or a pitch or whatever you want. But if the ball doesn't hit the ground, that's not a fumble. He should have been allowed to advance that ball. And that's something that the refs certainly missed today. I don't want to blame it all on the refs, but come on. When you watch football, the ball it's not a fumble until the ball hits the ground. Kareem Hunt caught it before the ball hit the ground. That aggravated me.
Yeah, the whole game was aggravating. I mean, to have to sit here and through the whole second half, you let them score again, what I'm saying, with their first possession. And, for it to even have to come to that, it's just ridiculous at this point. I don't understand why. I know Baker had success in a few quarterback sneaks earlier on in the game, but you got to give Hunt the ball in that situation, man.
Yeah, I agree.
You got to put the ball in your running back's hands, the surest hands. And Kareem Hunt's going to get them 2 yards, man.
He had been heating up, man.
Kareem Hunt was doing his thing. And when a player is hot, you give him the ball, man. Like, come on, 2 yards. There was no way they were going to stop him from getting that first down if they hand him the ball. It's hard enough to try and tackle him. He never goes. You never hit him and go backwards. And this is Baker Mayfield was bound to cough up that rock in a quarterback sneak at some point. He's done it in the past. And it's just like, what is the running backs for if you're not going to utilize them in a situation like that? Just let's leave nothing to chance, man. Baker Mayfield.
I know. And the note about Baker Mayfield in a game where you're going into the game, and the storyline is you don't have a bunch of players. I think they said 8 players, 10 players, whatever it was. You throw the ball 53 times. Now, I know a lot of that came in the second half as we're playing catch up, but you started the game with 3 straight passes. Like, you set the tone that you were going to try to drop back and whip the ball around the field, which to me is a questionable game plan when, again, you're minus your top 4 wide receivers. Questionable game plan. We'll get to the report card in just a minute.
Now, Daniel, what is his name? King your Grace Watkins.
Yeah.
That's your real name, sir. Asking, are we still in it for the playoffs? We still have a chance to make the playoffs. We have to beat Pittsburgh next week. We have to win that game.
Well, there's a few things that could happen. So right now, I got it pulled up. I'm gonna refresh. Okay. So right now, as it currently sits at the end of all of the 1 o'clock games in week 16, the Browns are in 7th place. And with this year, with it being an extra wild card spot, we are currently in the playoffs if they started today. However, we have the same record as the Indianapolis Colts. So that means if we lose next week and the Colts win, then we're done. We're out. So it's a few things that can happen because also Miami and Baltimore both have 10-5 records. So if we win and either one of those teams lose, Dolphins, Ravens, well, really the Dolphins and Ravens.
Same scenario as this week.
For sure.
But we just took another AFC loss, so I don't know. Yeah. We have to look further into that because every team we've lost to this year has been an AFC team, and that hurts us when it comes down to tiebreakers. When you have to, when everybody's in such a tight race.
Yeah.
It was Terrence Somerville. Calm down. Defense is horrible, and Baker makes the cracks under pressure. Baker has been balling for the past month, man. He didn't crack under pressure.
Listen,
he got cracked in the back, and the ball came out.
You put any quarterback out there without their best 4 wide receivers, and they're going to have trouble scoring points.
Yes,
I told you last week. I'm off the Baker train. I'm not going to hate on Baker. This is not on him.
What Pippa was talking about, the Browns got to stick to what they do best. What do we do best, Pippa? So we know them.
And you see,
in the I don't want to hear that. Don't put that
Pippa has gonna kick you out. You better be careful.
Come on, Pippa. Let's not talk like that. What do the Browns do best?
Have an impressive come from behind.
I'd just like to know, what do people think the Browns do best? Because
over
the past month, Baker has been balling and we've been having success through the air. And everybody seems to think that we have to be this running team when Baker has been basically balling out. He's like the third highest rated QB in the league over the past month. Why is it that people think that we can only run the ball? I think we are a well-rounded offense. He didn't have his targets today. We didn't. I mean, I'm not using that as an excuse, but I mean,
it's a hell of an excuse, though.
To ask Bradley to make that catch, he should have made that catch. Even though the guy hit him, he made a good hit on him. You know, experienced receivers get their hands on the ball, snatch it, and get it in there. So even if they take the hit, the ball doesn't get knocked out, you know? So this is just, I don't even know what to say about how this thing.
Demetrius, the defense played like SHIT.
Not in the,
you could go ahead.
I mean, they put it up on the screen. I guess we can say it.
Play like shit.
Well, in the first half, yeah, but in the second half, the defense held it down. They only got one score on the first drive of the second half. After that, they held them out of the end zone. The only reason why they got the 3 points is because of the turnover there, and that put them in field goal range automatically. And the defense stopped them and held them only to a field goal. So I can't agree with that statement. The defense
barring that,
what they had to do.
Right, barring the turnover and the field goal, we would have only given up 7 points in the second half. So let's just get into it. Game ball, I don't know. I don't know. Who can we give the game ball to? I have no idea. I mean, Kareem Hunt. There's really, when you lose, it's hard to give out a game ball, and you hate when I give it to the Jets. I'm going to say that kudos to the Browns. I'll give the game ball to the idea of not giving up. That's what I'll do. They didn't give up, and they fought to the final whistle almost. And if it wasn't for that last, blown call by the referee, again, to me, that's not to me. That's not a fumble until the ball hits the ground. So about the whole not being able to advance the ball thing, the refs blew that, and I think that we'll hear about that over these next couple of days. But there is no game ball to give out. I don't know. Who you got?
I'm looking at these stats. I really can't pick anybody out. I mean, had we finished that drive off, I would be giving it to Kareem Hunt, who was kind of coming through in the clutch there for us late in the game. But
Michael Gibson said game ball goes into storage. We just got to put it on the shelf till next week. I think that's probably the
No one
best
can
thing
get
to
a game ball in this
Yeah.
situation. Not when you lose to the Jets. No
When
game
you
balls
lose
get
to the
handed out.
Jets.
You
The
can't.
The Jets. And I came on here and guaranteed a win last week, but I didn't know we was going to be minus 10 players.
That's why I keep telling you, stop talking like that, man. I
Blame it on
tell
the
you
Jets.
every week, you can't just be out here. I'm like, it's any given Sunday. How many times have I told you?
Yeah, I know,
How
bro. but
many
come on,
times have I
four
told
wide
you?
receivers, man. If we would have had one of those wide receivers,
Maybe you jinxed us. Maybe you jinxed us guaranteeing a win. They be like, oh, you think you're going to win? We'll take all your receivers away then and see if you win then. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Come on, man.
I just know, and I hate. No, I'm not even gonna say it, man. I just hope that the Browns get into the playoffs.
I
Report
just want
card
to
is
say, Antoine Steele, if you're not a Browns fan, why are you here?
because that's my
Antoine
dog,
Steele
man.
just
No,
comes
let
on here
him.
to
He can
antagonize
ride,
us.
man. He can ride. He just we don't have to say all of his comments, but that's my dog.
Oh,
man.
Lord.
He from he loves your team, bro. He loves the Ravens. That's his favorite team. That's where you from. So look, we give out a report card grade every week as well, right? Last week, just in my notes, because I didn't make any new notes in this game because I was so heated watching it. I gave Stefanski an A- last week. I'm not giving him that this week. I'm gonna give Stefanski a D+. One, you lost to a team that had one win coming into this game, and two, and I know I keep harping on this, I questioned our game plan from the beginning of this. Sometimes it's not a bad thing to do what you do best, even if they're going to expect you to do it. I thought that we waited too long to get our run game going, and that's what cost us this game. You come out and you go 3 and out on 3 straight passes. Come on, bro. That's not a good game plan. So I'm going to give Kevin Stefanski, and y'all drop your grades for the head coach in the comments, a D+ today. What you got?
Oh my goodness. I'll just give him a C. You know why? Because of the adversity that he had to the last minute, having to come up with a different game plan to going into the game when you lose all of your starting receivers and the backups. Just going into this situation was a bit of a trying task for a coach, and it took him to the second half to kind of get it together. So I'm just going to give him a C. I ain't going to dog him.
Report card F from Yanni Rue. How did Hunt and Chubb have a combined 9 carries in the first half when you're receiving chorus from Division I AA? Yeah. My dude, Twan said you got him kicked out of a Baltimore group for sharing one of your rap songs, man. So I think he getting you some views. Yeah, man. He getting you some views, bro.
I appreciate you, Antoine Steele. Thank you for sharing.
What's the preliminary beat you gonna rock for this song, man?
I have no idea.
I know.
I don't know. This song ain't about to come out.
It'll be a couple days.
I'm gonna sit and sulk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and think about things. And I mean, come on, Yanni with the F. Come on, man. I mean, they brought him back in the second half. We were on our way to going on ahead and tying the game up. Bad first half, better second half. It shouldn't have come down to that, but at least they fought to try and come back in the game. So I can't give him an F. You know what I mean? Well, Jesus. This is just
ugly. Never underestimate your opponent. Something you've been saying all year has.
They're NFL teams, man.
Right.
They're NFL teams, and when we were reduced to playing with practice squad players, that kind of evened up the match.
Yanni upped it to F+, man. I don't even know if there's a such thing, but F+ for Yanni on the head coach Kevin Stefanski. So next week we close out the season against the hated Pittsburgh Steelers in a game that could have been for the division, but
Who won?
They were down double digits.
It wouldn't have been for the division because they won.
Well, right. Well, could have been had they lost.
No,
right.
Today we could have gotten into the playoffs.
Right.
This is like this harkens back to 13 years ago when we were 10-6 and 10-5 and needed to beat the Cincinnati Bengals just to get into the playoffs. And Derek Anderson goes out there and throws 4 interceptions in that game. We lose. We don't make the playoffs. And it's so old Browns what happened here today. It's just so like this is the hump that Kevin Stefanski has to understand that he has to get over. This is not just that you can be a good coach, but you have to overcome the past of the Cleveland Browns. These things will happen to this team, man. They will not show up when they need to show up the most. Things will happen. Players will get on the COVID list last minute. These things happen to the Browns, and it's a tough thing to overcome, man. It really is. And being a Browns fan is tough. It's tough, man. Now we gotta beat the Steelers just to get into the playoffs. And the Steelers finally got off the schneid, as they say, and won. And they were getting beat. Yeah, they were getting beat, and they came back in that game and won it. So now you got to face the Steelers when they're kind of back hitting their stride. We're not facing them when they're on the slide. Sheesh.
Yeah, shout out to Tracy Cooper. She says she graduated, so big time congratulations to her. Next week prediction, it has off the top. Tracy. Do you know where that game is next week? I'm trying to look.
The game is here. The game is here.
So the final home game for the Cleveland Browns against the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to predict that we're going to win just because I don't want to put out no negative.
There you go.
But I'm saying that I predict that we're going to win. I don't have no final score. I just want to go to the playoffs. And a couple of weeks ago, I thought that we were going to walk into the playoffs. And I woke up today and didn't realize I was notified that the Browns would be without half our damn team. Hey, I got a question for you. How come the Baltimore Ravens didn't have to play when a whole bunch of their players couldn't go? Like, they had their game postponed multiple times, yet we have to play without a wide receiver. A few weeks ago, the Denver Broncos had to play without a quarterback. Like, what's up with that?
I think it's too late in the season to be postponing games, man. When would this game get played? Here we are, the second to the last week of the season. When would the game get played?
I don't know. That's not my job to figure out. If the Browns, you think they're going to hold up the playoffs for the Browns? Well, what I'm saying is we've seen games push back a day or two. If Landry, say all of the people who got, who had to sit out today due to contact tracing, return 10 negative tests in a row in the next 2 days, they could have suited up on Monday or Tuesday night to play a game. They've been playing games on Wednesdays and Fridays all year. I don't know. I just don't like. I don't like how the refs did us at the end of that game, and I don't like that we were forced into having to play this game right now without a whole position group.
I thought the refs were helping us out for a minute there, with the personal foul calls on the when the guy hit Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
they had some calls that actually helped us.
Yeah.
So and then that call at the end, and I agree with you. The ball didn't hit the ground, so I don't really know. That's a gray area. Just because the ball slipped out of his hand, you're right. I mean, I don't know, but it didn't work in our favor. We can argue about that all we want.
Right. Game's over. So it doesn't really matter. So, of course, we will be back for halftime and post game next week. And hopefully it will not be the last time we're here.
It won't be the final week that we can do this because we gotta get through the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's only fitting. It's like, hey, you want to go to the playoffs, you're going to have to beat your division rival Pittsburgh Steelers, who you haven't been able to beat since Ben Roethlisberger has been the quarterback. So here it is, Browns. You want to get in? You got to beat the freaking Pittsburgh Steelers. Please beat the Steelers. Oh my God.
Yeah, and I guess that's where we are. So
they never forgave us for Bottlegate. They never. So you saying the NFL has just been against us ever since we threw the bottles? There was a bad call. They called that, they would call it bad calls against us. So the fans were upset. So don't throw. We shouldn't have threw bottles on the field.
Should not have done that.
But I mean, come on, man. We're an uptight fan base, man. We get right here. We right here on the cusp, and we still just can't walk in. Lord, get me out of here, man. I'm ready.
Yeah, we'll be back next week for halftime and post game of the Browns Steelers game. I guess I don't know if I would assume there's a good chance that game gets flexed in the primetime Sunday Night Football, but maybe not. I don't know if that decision has already been made. Either way, halftime, post game, Matt Live will be live both times next week. Hopefully, we're talking about we're getting.
Who the hell had COVID in the first place for this contact tracing? I wonder. They never said who actually
Goodson, the linebacker. Goodson, the linebacker, had it. Yep. So
is he not going to play next week? Because he was one of our best defenders.
I don't know,
man. Oh my God, he has COVID. This is just.
Hope you feel better, Goodson.
When we were 9-3, my father-in-law said that he predicted us to go 10-6. I'm like, if we go 10-6 after being 9-3, that would be pretty disappointing. And here we are, staring 10-6 right in the freaking face. But we're gonna go. All right, guys. We appreciate everybody that checked in. Kimberly, Tracy, Michael, Devontae.
Shouts out to you for that graduation.
Jodeci, George,
Yanni,
even your boy Antoine. And thank you. Yes. All right. This is
the King of Worcester, man. He's the King of Worcester. Some other guy.
I don't know what that is. So I'm TJ Hazmat.
And I'm Maddie Wills. And
we'll be out of here. Peace.